Hey guys, welcome to the third and final vote video for the new career mode series set to start later this week. Yesterday you voted on 3 teams, Leicester City, Newcastle United and Huddersfield Town, and there was a winner, obviously, by a small margin. Leicester City with 44%, Newcastle United with 33% and Huddersfield with the rest. Now that wasn't, for me, a definitive enough win to be happy enough to move forward with Leicester as the winning team. There was also a lot of vocalisation in the comment section of people that hadn't voted for Leicester, feeling that Leicester were too good a team and had too good a squad for much of a challenge, which is what the original idea for the series was. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to a final vote. We're going to knock Huddersfield Town out of the equation, and I want you to vote on Leicester or Newcastle, because obviously Leicester won the vote, but still, with 44%, still that means more than half of the people that voted didn't want Leicester, if you see where I'm coming from. So if we have a more definitive vote where it's literally just one of 2 teams, you guys can make, or I can see, a more accurate representation of what the audience wants. What I'll do in this video is have a closer look in a little bit more detail at the initial squad that either side has and the expectations of the board, so that you can make a more educated decision as to what you would like to see on the channel moving forward. I understand that Leicester won the vote yesterday, but for me, I wasn't happy that it was as definitive a win as I needed to be confident that the series would be as successful as I need it to be to warrant being a long-term series. And like I say, it was more the drastic vocalisation in the comments of people saying Leicester aren't a bottom half team, they're too good, that I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to vote again. Because I think a lot of the people that said Leicester weren't good enough, or Leicester, sorry, were too good, the voting from that was then split between Huddersfield and Newcastle, which is obviously why 56% of people, over the 44% of people, voted against Leicester. So if those 56% of people only have one option to vote for, with Newcastle in this vote, then we might get a more definitive answer, because some of the people that voted Huddersfield might then want Leicester, and some that wanted Leicester may, after this little in-depth look, decide that they want Newcastle, or some that thought Leicester were too good, after seeing a little bit more in-depth, that voted Newcastle, might want Leicester. I'm just kind of trying to get a more definitive answer with regards your guys' opinions and which of the 2 main teams we're going to be moving forward with. If you see where I'm coming from. Basically, more than half of the people didn't want Leicester, so I want to give those 56% of people the chance to vote again and see if they all go for Newcastle or if Leicester still edge the vote. So, I'm going to jump in now, just have a quick look at Leicester's squad, a quick look at Newcastle's squad, and then you guys can decide by voting on the little eye symbol in the top right which you feel would be the bigger challenge and the more entertaining series, a la the FIFA 18 Southampton career mode, trying to emulate that. So let's jump into the teams now. Let me know in the comments section down below which way you voted, and let's have a look. Okay, so here is Leicester. It's key to point out that I will not be using the 60% budget boost option that you get when going into a new series. So that's not going to be used. So the budget, if you decide on Leicester, will be 48.3 million with £150,000 available wage-wise. The starting 11 looks as follows. There are 4 80-plus rated players. No, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 80 rated plus players in the starting 11. Jamie Vardy, Ndidi, Harry Maguire, Kasper Schmeichel and Pereira, who by default was a right back but played on the right hand side of midfield in the default 4-2-3-1. You can see that the rest of the side are kind of mid-70s, if not a little bit higher. The squad as a whole is also mid-70s, if not higher. You've got players like Okazaki, Kelechi, Ibora's 81, or Brighton 76, Gazal 75, Soyuncu 75, Adrien Silva 79, Christian Fuchs. What's good? Danny Simpson in there as well. There are some youngsters too that are in the mid to late 60s, but Luani in the early 70s, as well as is it Matty James? I can't remember his first name actually off the top of my head. Johnny Evans at 78 as well. So Leicester do have a pretty decent squad, to be completely honest. With regards to board expectations, it was medium across the board, apart from youth development. So that should be pretty easy to achieve. That will certainly be easy to achieve. Financially, that will be easy to achieve. And first season they won a Europa League spot. So if that's what they're expecting of me, then one would presume, even on ultimate difficulty, that the first season might not be as big a challenge as you guys are wanting. The side might be able to finish well inside the top half, if not in a Europa League spot season 1. And I'm not overly sure whether that's what you guys want from a challenge series, to be completely honest. They want me to qualify for the Europa League in the first season. And like I say, transfer budget of £48 million. So let me go now and jump into a Newcastle save briefly, and we'll have a look at that squad. Okay, so Newcastle United, their starting budget is 30 million with 100 grand available on the wage budget side of things. So significantly less than Leicester, which would subsequently make it more difficult to improve. With regards to the expectations, financial is critical. Youth development-wise is medium, so more of an impetus on that than with Leicester City. Brand exposure is high, which is going to be very, very important. Newcastle initially want me to prioritise more off the pitch than on it. So you can see within 3 seasons, increased season ticket holders by 10%. Signed one crucial first-team player to a forward position. Financially, they want me to finish at least £26.4 million profit at the end of the first transfer window. I've never had that sort of board objective before. Long-term wise, increase the club worth, that should be fairly easy to achieve. Finish mid-table is the first season objective. On ultimate difficulty, one would presume that would be achievable, but not as straightforward as it would be with Leicester. And then long-term, they give me 2 seasons to finish an Europa League spot rather than just the one that we get at Leicester. No continental success expected of me at Newcastle in the first year. The squad, the starting 11 has no players higher rated than 78 in it. And the rest of the team rest of the squad is all mid to low 70s, if not in the 60s. My highest rated player at the club would be 78 rated Jamal Lascelles or Dubravka or John Joe Shelby at a glance. I don't believe there's anyone else that's high rated than that. Leyoun is there 78 as well. So Newcastle would be by far the bigger challenge. And in the first video, I mentioned that I didn't have a preference. So I had a preference, but I didn't want to express that preference because I didn't want to sway the vote. I will be completely 100% honest with you guys. Newcastle is the series that I believe I would prefer to do and that I think would do best on the channel. But if you'd already decided to vote for Leicester, don't let that sway your decision away from Leicester. I would like as even a spread of results as I can possibly get from you guys. If Leicester win the vote, then I will do Leicester. If Newcastle win the vote, then I will do Newcastle, of course. I'm not going to let Leicester win and then do Newcastle anyway, because it's my preference. If Leicester win, Leicester win. Regardless of which team wins the vote, I'd love it if you guys would support the series, regardless of whether the team that you specifically voted as your #1 choice wins or not. I'd very much appreciate the support on the channel. The reason we're starting a new series in general is because the support in the Tottenham series just wasn't there and it wasn't helping the growth of the channel, etc. It's been a very slow start to the FIFA 19 year for me. I think Spurs, in hindsight, were the wrong team to start the year with. I should have started with Chelsea as I did last year, and I think moving forward, my first series on every FIFA will be with Chelsea now, as people have come to associate me with Chelsea and Cambridge United. Obviously, there will be a Cambridge United Road to Glory series later this year as well. But in between this next series of Leicester or Newcastle and the RTG, I'll probably do one abroad first. But right now, it's Newcastle or Leicester. Like I say, personally, I prefer Newcastle. I think it's more of a challenge and would be more reminiscent of the Southampton series on FIFA 18. But it is entirely up to you. Please do decide via your own opinions, not just what my opinion is. So, there's your vote. The final episode of the Tottenham Career Mode will go out tomorrow. Today, earlier on this afternoon, I think I'm going to set this video live about 5 PM. At 3 PM this afternoon, there was the FA Cup final with Tottenham Hotspur. And that video. It's definitely entertaining and certainly worth a watch. And then tomorrow we'll have the final season roundup with Tottenham, once I know exactly what series is to follow, once the voting of this is closed, and I know what team I'm going to move forward with. So do vote. It was the vocalization of the Newcastle voters in the comment section yesterday that kind of triggered this. So I was kind of in agreement. Like, I threw Leicester in there because you know, they're an interesting team. I might have liked to have done a series with Leicester, but and yes, they won the vote, but it did seem that it was more of a split of 56% of people that didn't want Leicester that just then chose between Newcastle and Huddersfield rather than Leicester outright winning the vote. If Leicester outright win this vote, then I will do Leicester. If Newcastle outright win this vote, I will do Newcastle. Let me know in the comment section down below which way you voted, and we will take it from there. Thank you very much for watching. The future of the channel is in your hands. I'll see you next time.